He's considering laying down kings.
I have a face it's very difficult to fold to.
But how can I fold these hands? Seriously.
Elke passes, the button is out. Ensang has kings in the small blind. And he just calls.
The old pre-flop trap, I like it.
Jerome Brion checks his option in the big blind. The flop is 10-10-8, trips for Brion.
I mean, I hate it. I hate the slow play pre-flop. Raise, keep him from sucking out on you.
Ensang checks. Brion bets for value, 7,000. And with his overpair, Ensang's at least going to call. Luckily, he doesn't raise. Jack on the turn gives Brion a straight draw to go with his trips. Ensang down to 5%. No doubt we'll see a second bet. 16,000.
What started as a trap has now turned into a gigantic sigh.
Ensang calls again, this hand going to the river. And that river card is an ace.
This is bad news for Ensang.
He checks a third time. Will we get a third barrel from Brion?
It's bad news because all the draws missed and Brion isn't supposed to have an ace.
That's a bet of 27,000, quickly called. Ensang gets the bad news.
He still shows his age occasionally. You don't see the wizards holding up their kings like that when they get cracked.
Nice. Pocket kings.
Nice picking up kings under the gun. Usually some action to follow behind, hopefully.
He raises to 34,000. Bahadur Kilickeser has 7-8 suited.
Oh boy. Kilickeser hates chips, apparently.
Call.
He calls. Action folded around to Andre Murat. Jack 9 in the small blind. He'll fold. Andreas Vlachos in the big blind. It's 10-6 suited. He'll pass. So Chen goes heads up to the flop against Kilickeser. Out of position, but with the betting lead.
And also the monster favorite.
Oh, flop better, Kilickeser.
I'm just kidding. Kilickeser loves chips. Gross flop for Andrew Chen. Super wet board. He's never going to be able to give Kilickeser credit.
He checks to Kilickeser.
He knows there's a good chance Kilickeser will blast off here.
The German bets 90,000.
Now all of a sudden he's got a hand. Notice he's betting almost full pot. Gotta wonder if Andrew's going to notice this. It's also just so easy to be semi-bluffing this board with a draw or some kind of combo draw.
Chen shoves. And one presumes that Kilickeser is going to call.
He's only got the second nuts, James.
What's he doing?
Last one?
No.
I call it.
Finally. Kilickeser, an 83% favorite to double up for Andrew Chen.
Very unfortunate flop for Andrew. Kilickeser only has to dodge 3 queens, otherwise he's going to double up.
Same outs needed for Chen, with one card to come.
Can barely believe it.
No queen.
Yes. Nice answer.
Instead, a set for Andrew Chen, but Kilickeser straight holds.
Looks like Sorensson again reaching for chips. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Pocket kings. Sorensson raises under the gun.
You know, normally when you're raising fourth flop at this stage, you want everyone to fold. This isn't one of those times. This is where you really want some action.
For sure.
Oh, he got some. Kings against kings.
On earth have they both got kings? Andre, careful.
2 million, 3.8.
Now would be a really bad time to get frisky and try squeezing with 8-4 of hearts.
Yeah, I don't see Andre doing that. I think he's just thinking about calling because he's got value here. He's already got 4 in. He has not a great hand, but, you know, he can flop some flushes, he could flop straight, he could flop 2 pair trips.
Well, he's getting a great price, courtesy of Kaufman just calling and not re-raising. The flop is ace 10-7.
Well, now Kaufman might lose it. He may actually lose the pot now. Because it'd be tough for him to continue with kings if somebody bets here with an ace out there. It's the one card when you have 2 kings, you think, okay, no ace, no ace, no ace, no ace. Oh, ace,
Everybody checks, and we get the deuce of hearts.
Well, that gives Akkari a flush draw now. So if he were to take initiative, he might be able to win it. So Sorensson, he believes he has the best hand now. He's not bluffing, right? He didn't like the ace, but nobody bet the ace, so he's thinking, okay, I'm safe. The big blind, Andre Akkari, he could have anything, which he does. So he's only worried about Kaufman, and Kaufman checked, so he's got to like it. Now what do you do if you're Kaufman? You just slow-played kings with 11 big blinds, and now you're faced with a bet with an ace out there.
So the delayed continuation bet from Sorensson of 1.25 million. Is Kaufman going to continue playing this slow and just call?
Well, I don't think raising now makes a lot of sense.
Good point with the ace out there. So Kaufman calls, and now Andre's getting a really good price to draw to his flush.
Absolutely. You know, if you're really on and you think they both don't have an ace here, you could make that check raise play, but it looks like Andre takes the safer route. Gonna call, try to catch that flush, getting a really good price.
6.75 million in the middle, still 3 players going to the river. And that river card is a heart!
90-90 boo-boo. I can't believe it.
Andre Akkari rivers the flush.
Oh, when you're Kaufman and you're that short, you don't really want 2 people in, you just want 1. I mean, 2 doesn't... Checked around.
Gets checked to showdown, and Andre somewhat embarrassingly shows I've got...
I don't think he's embarrassed at all.
And both players knock their kings because they cannot win.
I think the embarrassment should be in Kaufman right now for going, why did I allow this to happen?
Well, somehow we're going 3-way to this flop. Rocci's raised, called by Alain and Andreevich. And, oh, hello. Flush draw.
Goodbye, Rocky.
Set of 4s. Overpair to the board.
With my reputation.
Wow. So Rocci now with the least equity. Andreevich, we should point out, in addition to having the flush draw, has a gut shot to boot. Alain, a 61% favorite with the set of 4s.
There's no way Rocky can get out of this. I can't see that ever happening. The problem here for Andreevich is
what happens when Alain raises.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Danny is sweating the king of hearts on the turn, please. That would be savage.
Alain only called.
Oh, really? Well, now maybe Andreevich decides to raise.
Can't see. There's a chance you could take it down here.
No, he just calls.
That was good luck for him.
Well, that's a card that could save Rocci, right?
Yeah.
Then that's the ultimate good card for him. Other than a...
And in that spot, that's why, like, if it hits a flush, that would have saved Rocci as well, and Alain wouldn't have made a lot of money on the overpair.
I mean, obviously, the best card he could have hit was the king of diamonds, but the next best card was an ace.
However.
Oh. Well, I kind of thought that might slow him down, and this might get checked around, but... Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because a lot of them could have called with ace-4 suited, ace-10 suited, etc.
The sizing of this bet's a bit puzzling as well. 126,000 into 489,000. It's
it doesn't make any sense because
it's a tickler. It's a little tickler.
If the raise is small enough, Andreevich can be priced in.
Just verify how much this check raise is for. So remember, Alain smooth called the continuation bet on the flop. He now check raises the turn with the best hand, a set of 4s, a 2-to-1 favorite, gets rid of the flush and straight draw. So it's back on Rocci, who's been the aggressor throughout, who didn't slow down when that ace hit the turn, but maybe this raise will have him thinking, might not have the best hand.
Wow.
He did push it forward. He did call the raise.
I mean, Jesus.
This is going to the river, and I mean, as you said, Theo, he'd only wasted, in inverted commas, 126,000. That's now 300,000.
Yeah, he must think he turned his flush draw into a bluff.
Well, the 8 of spades looked pretty inconsequential on that board.
I mean,
so what do you do now when Alain shoves a legitimate bet, and you're going to have to call it off? Because if you're calling turn, why are you not calling river?
that's a 450 or 5-ish. There's a 400k bet.
What are you going to do now?
That's...
You got yourself into a pickle.
A huge pickle.
500,000. So it's half pot.
What happened?
He folded.
He folded.
Oh,
he folded quickly.
Instant folded.
Yikes.
So we've come to the end of the 60-120 blind level, and this will actually be the last hand of the night. And folded to online qualifier Andreas Samuelsson. Pocket fives.
Looks like Ike Haxton's Swedish cousin.
Looks like he's raising from under the gun +2. Samuelsson makes it 260,000. Shafikov folds. Tuma is out.
It's not a Tuma.
Rainer Kemper in the cutoff. Passes. Steve Warburton on the button. As ace-king of diamonds.
I think we're very likely to see a 3-bet suited ace-king in position.
The black chips worth 100,000 each. Warburton 3-bets to 590,000.
They probably have too many chips to end up flipping.
Oh, John Juanda wakes up with kings in the big blind.
Well, this puts a whole new paint job on things.
That is a 4-bet from Juanda.
Should be a pretty easy fold now for pocket fives.
Yeah, Samuelsson gets out of the way. Action back on Warburton.
These two may have no problem getting it in.
Warburton shoves. 5.5 million. He's got Juanda covered. This is all in to call.
And call.
You have more than me, right?
And call.
Yeah. You got it.
Did he misread his hand?
Juanda's genuinely thinking about this.
You look so confident, even took off your glasses.
It's a bit hot.
Ace-king suited's a confident hand.
You know, I said I was gonna fold if you move all in, but then
I have a face it's very difficult to fold to.
now you are talking so confidently. I know you have it.
I don't know. It is what it is, John.
But how can I fold these hands? Seriously. Jeez.
He's considering laying down kings.
Well, I think Steve's so confident because now it looks like Juanda definitely doesn't have it. Uh-oh.
You can only have ace king or aces.
That moment you realize your opponent might have kings.
If either you're a really good talker or you like.
I'm just whatever.
Come on,
Juanda lays down
I've
kings.
got a good hand. I've just put 5 million chips in. Obviously, I got a good hand.
I mean, there were still 3 aces in the deck. Maybe it's a brilliant fold.
I mean, I have to have it.
Depends on what your definition of it is.